Hello, my name is Jody Bellamy, and I'm a graduate student here at Excelsior College. And I'm here to present my capstone presentation for the RN to MSN program. The project I did was an educational training module in a detention setting. During collaboration to identify issues with nursing management, 3 areas were identified as critically essential and addressed in this project. First was a preparation for emergency response. The detention center houses just under 2,000 detainees, and being prepared to respond to a medical emergency is imperative. The next section was teaching a new concept for the nurses, and that was the after-action review. This concept was the facility wanted to introduce and was created by the U.S. Army to use after its conflicts or emergencies. It's a quality improvement tool to help with future responses and actions during a medical emergency. The last section introduced was the situation, background, assessment, and recommendation, otherwise known as SBAR. The facility had a significant communication deficit. This protocol was introduced as a means to open the lines of communication and then build upon that. The primary stakeholders are the detainees. Their role is that all of them are potential patients and may suffer unintended consequences if the nurses are not prepared to respond to their emergent needs. They have a strong influence as they arrive at the facility disadvantaged. They arrive with fear, anxiety, depression, some withdrawing from alcohol or drugs, past physical and emotional trauma, undiagnosed mental illnesses. Some have instability due to chronic conditions, which they have not been taken care of, or they don't know the names of the medications or dosages that they've been taking for it. Some don't know the name of their illnesses that they've been diagnosed with, or they have the undiagnosed maladies. Some have gang affiliations that put them at risk for violence, and all of these factors put the entire population at a higher risk for self-harm or suicide, according to McGuire in 2015. I used the adult learning theory as the framework for this project. According to Pappas, in 2014, Malcolm Knowles inspired the term andragogy, which is the art and science for helping adults learn. A few ways the framework was utilized was that it drew from previous knowledge that the nurses had. The project was problem-centered, and the nurses were able to apply the new learning immediately after the training module. Finally, the training module contained appropriate learning activities while keeping their diverse learning styles in mind. Some of the evidence used in the preparation for emergency response was by Gallagher et al. In 2015, where the training will fortify the nurses with the knowledge to respond appropriately, and this results in greater confidence and job satisfaction. With the after-action review, Dunn, Scott, Allen, and Bonilla in 2016 revealed that organizations who utilize the after-action review frequently after an incident is highly influential to improving safety norms in a positive fashion and improved safety behavior over the course of time. Addressing situation, background, assessment, and recommendation, the SBAR, Eberhardt in 2014 explained that SBAR is a tool that is evidence-based and is able to improve the communication where improved patient outcomes eventuate. And quoting Safer Healthcare in 2016, the SBAR communication technique has become the Joint Commission's stated industry for best practice for standardized communication in healthcare, effortlessly structuring critical information primarily for spoken delivery. The leadership strategies employed at the time of the project implementation were derived from the competencies from AACN in 2011 and QSIN in 2012. They involved me being a member of the interprofessional team during the project implementation. The first one was collaboration between me, the nurse manager, the training officer, and my mentor, who was the Assistant Health Service Administrator of the medical unit, as well as other colleagues. This part was integral in identifying the most pressing issues in the facility. Decision-making was a strategy that was used collaboratively in our weekly meetings, such as specific content to use in the training module. Systems thinking was taking appropriate competencies and integrating them on a larger scale, and some overlapping in other areas. During implementation, to assure the project success and addressing the issues, Veltri and Barber in 2016 explains that strategic planning serves as a framework for decisions, provides a foundation for detailed planning, and is used to explain the business to others, assists with benchmarking performance, monitoring, and stimulates change. I was given creative license on the project and was able to incorporate various methods of learning. The module was created with systems in mind. There were other strategies such as research, data collection, and leadership involved as well. Systems were used by taking known nursing competencies and expanding them to include a broader range so the identified issues can be addressed on a larger scale. Delansky and Moore in 2013 explained that quality and safety were propelled into nursing education by QSIN. Now it's time to expedite their use and influence by taking individual competencies and transform them into systems. The continuous improvement tool introduced in this project was the after-action review. It is similar to debriefing and will be utilized as a quality improvement tool. According to Tammy et al. In 2013, the main objective is to review the medical emergencies from start to finish and decipher the facts and look for areas that can be improved on without placing blame. The identified outcomes for this project were confirm the importance of the medical emergency preparedness, recall the utilization of SBAR, and demonstrate understanding of the after-action review. The criteria used to evaluate the project outcomes were derived from criterion reference interpretation, which reveals the degree of learning attained from the learning module, according to Burke and Erkey in 2016. The module was given to a sample of nurses, as there were technical difficulties between the videos in the PowerPoint and the security software of my employer. At this time, there's not been a medical emergency, so the direct evaluation to assess outcomes could not be utilized as planned. The nurses who participated in the training took a test at the end, which employed the answer until correct method. This form of repetition reinforces concepts taught in the module as stated by Habta Miriam in 2016. Then they answered a questionnaire concerning the extent to which outcomes were achieved and supported by best evidence were demonstrated by the results of the questionnaire and interviews. All participants responded agree to the top portion, which assessed the accomplishment of the stated outcomes, and very good to the bottom portion, which addressed their learning from the module compared to the knowledge they had prior to the learning activities. There were 2 occasions where the participants experienced the inability to view embedded videos. That issue is being investigated by the IT department. An interview, according to Burke and Erkey in 2016, is a direct method of evaluation. There are also noticeable changes that show the nurses are prepared for the medical emergencies by voicing who's going to be on the emergency team and having their radio on them at all times. Through the interview with the staff that has completed the training, they were able to recall how to use SBAR. An anonymous survey is ready to evaluate this portion of instruction at approximately 6 weeks after implementation to measure the success of utilizing SBAR and measurement of improved outcomes. Although this is just a fraction of the necessary educational training that is needed at this facility, the project has been significant within systems of the organization. The significance of the project with the stakeholders, starting with the detainees, as being the primary stakeholder, the nursing staff is now adequately prepared to respond to any emergency they have. Nursing judgment led to achievement of outcomes. Improved nursing judgment, as taught throughout nursing education, is the reason nurses can help improve the healthcare system's quality of patient-centered care, according to Thompson, Aiken, Doran, and Dowding in 2013. The significance of this project to nursing and how it supports excellence is by anticipated decreased response time for emergencies, teaching a new method for quality improvement in this setting, and teaching a new method for opening the lines of communication so better patient outcomes can be achieved. Throughout the project, the global community, who is identified as another stakeholder in this project, because none of the detainees are U.S. citizens. A medical emergency that has a poor outcome can cause hostile relations with the detainee's country of citizenship, especially if it's related to a lack of proper training to prepare the medical staff for the emergency. It is my responsibility as a leader to apply the quality principles and as a change agent in my specialty. Numerous crucial competencies are outlined by AACN of 2011 and Quality and Safety Education for Nurses in 2012. All of these are part of my role and responsibility. All that I've learned I bring to the interprofessional team as a viable participating member to further the mission of providing safe, efficient, patient-centered care. I have learned about utilizing nursing judgment, knowledge, skills, and professional values that I have acquired throughout this graduate program. These traits influenced everything about this project. From the start, collaborating with the nursing management to discover if there was a project they had in which I could help, then exploring learning activities that were consistent with adult learning theory. Professional values kept me searching for the best evidence-based material I could find. The whole time I was focused on the patient. This project was the result of striving for excellent patient outcomes in the event of a medical emergency in our facility. The personal significance of this project concerning scholarship is utilizing what I have learned in the graduate program and applying it to the project. It reinforced concepts that I would not have otherwise had the opportunity to try. Considering spirit of inquiry, this project inspired me to deep research for the best possible learning activities. It kept me wanting to learn more until I had been mentally saturated and the facts started repeating. I found great satisfaction in discovering and creating a learning module that addressed significant issues. Concerning innovation, it was fulfilling to create the module that was user-friendly and refreshing. It is not what the employees of this facility are used to, referring to previous learning modules as death by PowerPoint. They have stated that the learning activities were engaging and they learned a lot by experiencing it. Concerning commitment to lifelong learning, I am committed. I have always loved learning. I will always be pursuing knowledge and advancing my education in one form or another. My passion is nursing, and my care and focus are people. Thank you for taking the time out to listen to this presentation. I wish everyone the best as they begin a new chapter in their lives as a master's prepared nurse. It is my pleasure to work with all of you.